it's Ty with Ty the Dog Guy on the Daily. I just wanted to talk about dog problems for a second. It is rare that you have one. More often than not, you've got a lot more. It's just that the problems aren't bothering you. And so let me tell you what I'm talking about. It's not uncommon that somebody calls and they say, my dog is amazing, he has one problem. And that one problem might be something small, like, well, he pees in the house every day. Well, actually, that's not that small of a problem, but compared to others, it's, or they might be like, my dog's amazing, he just has one problem, he tries to attack other dogs. And so, has there ever been a dog that just has one problem? Maybe. But really what's happening here is the owner's only identifying one problem because that's the only thing that's bothering them. When in reality, there's plenty of other issues that are going on that they're just not recognizing. So, for example, like let's take the dog, like, oh, he's a wonderful dog, except let's say he's not attacking, but he barks at other dogs on a walk. That's not just the only problem, because before that problem, we have a dog that's not walking properly on a leash. I can tell you that almost 100% for certain, that if your dog is barking at other dogs on a walk, he's probably not heeling properly. And so you got that problem. You probably have another problem in that the dog charged right through the door when you started your walk. And so you've got a dog that doesn't wait at the door properly. So you've got more than just barking at other dogs. You've got heeling problems, waiting at the door problems. And if you look deeper, there might be other problems. It's quite likely that the dog is not respecting you properly or doesn't see you in a leadership role. And that probably comes from, he's getting you're not asking a lot of him in the house, that, maybe he's not tearing up the house. And so as a result, you're not asking much of him. And as a result, he's not terribly obedient. He might not be causing problems, but you probably couldn't get him to lie down and stay for 10 minutes. He might not be causing problems in the house, but he's probably jumping on guests every now and then when they come through. He might not be causing problems every day, but he might be barking at the window sometimes. So anyways, what I'm getting at is it's highly rare that you've got a dog that just is great, and just has this one thing. Because almost always that one thing stems from another thing, which is related to another thing, which is the next door neighbor to another thing, which has a root cause in another thing. And I don't say this to be scary and be like, oh, your dog is out of control and you got so much work to do. But what I'm getting at is there's rarely a time, this has happened, but there's rarely a time where you could be like, all right, just do this one thing. You're right, you just have this one little problem. Do this one little tweak and you're going to be in good shape. Every now and then that does happen, but more often than not what happens is we got to look at problems from a fundamental, foundational, bedrock, what's going on here, and we find that there's more issues. Again, those issues might not be causing you any sort of consternation or any sort of headache, but they're there, and they do need to be addressed if you're going to solve the issue. So like I say, probably more going on with your dog than you may initially realize. And sometimes it's the reverse. Sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, my dog's a serial killer, he's awful, he's doing this, and really it's way less than that. But more often than not, folks are simply just not seeing the entire picture, and it's painting the wrong picture of who their dog is.